here to you all, Josh Cardin and Carrie Timchuk.
Who's not only a super effective congressman for his district, he is now in the leadership of this nation. The transition, serving as the transition director for this House is a far bigger deal than I think anybody in the state currently understands, outside of a few insiders like Mr. Timchuk. Essentially what he's being tasked with doing is rewriting the rules of the House so that the Republicans can pass their agenda with greater ease. And that, for the party, the Republican Party, is as important a job as there is, and if he does a decent job of it, you should assume that you're going to see him in important leadership positions for many years. I keep waiting for him to run statewide, and he may still, maybe in 4 years, but right now he's on a path to be Speaker of the House. I don't know that I'll share in Mr. Timchuk's elation over Chairman Hastings, but we'll have to see.
And then the Senate, by the way, of course, as you know, Senator Dorgan retired this session, and as he was chair of the Senate Indian Affairs Committee. And now, as Michelle and I look down the list, it's as you know, committee chairmanships are done by seniority, but the members under him, Inouye, Akaka, already have other chairmanships, and you can't have two in the Senate. So I think it's going to come down between Maria Cantwell and John Tester, the Montana senator and a Washington senator, as to who ends up as chair of the Senate Indian Affairs Committee. So again, power for the Northwest, which I think is a good thing for the tribes of the Northwest.
In Washington, we're saying let it be Tester because we'd rather have Maria in the more powerful finance area.
Oh, she's not leaving. Yeah. She's not leaving fine.
The area that you know, and I'm speaking hopefully for the benefit of the tribal people that are here, is educating the new people or even the older ones in the need for tribes to be able to take land into trust. The assumption is that, you know, can you imagine Soxawaddle up in Darrington, which is up in the mountains, gorgeous mountains, who have a nearby population of 1,000 people taking land into trust for the purpose of a casino. It's not going to happen. But we cannot, and this is a little tribe that has rivers flowing all around it, so we're in constant danger of being flooded. We're looking at having to move villages and the whole bit. But we can't take any land into trust because of tertiary. And so we have to collectively begin to educate the Congress to allow, and it's all going to have to be by Congress now, thanks to the Supreme Court, to allow tribes to take land into trust so that we can develop ourselves and not be subject to the taxes of counties, which is what's happening to us at this time. So I'm just throwing that out as thought for the educational things that have to go forth to Congress, so that that's an area that we would hope there would be some compassion. I mean, we have to admit, as American Indians, we do not have the compassion of America anymore, because what is being read of us is not the best.
Should have added for the Oregon tribes, of course, one of the most interesting things coming up before the end of the Governor Kulongoski's administration in January is the decision on the casino in Cascade Lodge for the Warm Springs. The decision is on the desk of Secretary Salazar, the Interior Secretary, whose brother, of course, was a congressman from Colorado, was defeated in the election. But Governor Kulongoski is very much in favor of the Cascade Lodge. Governor-elect Kitzhaber is not, has made that one of his planks in the campaign. If the Secretary signs the papers before Governor Kulongoski's office, I believe it's a done deal. And I know that Governor Kulongoski is pressing hard for that to happen. We'll see whether or not that happens. The other item, the ballot measure that surprised me that Oregonians passed, because they had been asking in the past and didn't, was the ballot measure for annual sessions in the legislature, creating annual sessions. So as of this year, the legislature will meet every year now, not just an odd number of years, which for the Oregon tribes who have interest in Salem argues for increased work in Salem, whether you have a hired representative in Salem, you'll be spending more time in Salem as the years go on. So, yes?
First of all, thank you both for spending your morning with us. It's really helpful for the tribes. The Indian Healthcare Improvement Act is something that tribes have worked on for years and years and years, and it was finally came to fruition in this last bill. Josh, you mentioned that with the potential rancor in Congress, that Indian issues may not be at the forefront. What do you see happening with that healthcare bill if it is repealed in respect to?
With the Indian Improvement Act, a bill that was passed this last Congress? Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't believe that President Obama is going to allow that to do.
Zero chance of healthcare being repealed. So.
But, well, what Mr. Bader and Senator Minority Leader has said is that, well, we're going to overturn it. Of course, during the campaign, they wouldn't say what Kerry just said, which is accurate, because they want to let the facts get in the way of the message. They couldn't repeal it unless they overturned the Senate. But they can be funded, and I think that's where they'll focus their efforts. That obviously has, if they're successful, will have a huge impact on Indian health. I can assure you that your senators, Senator Wyden and Senator Merkley, and your members of the House, from Congressman Walden, Congressman DeFazio, on up, will work very hard to prevent that. One of the, and by the way, just Michael, just to be clear, while Indian issues may not be front and center, I actually do think that they may provide one of the very rare opportunities for bipartisanship. It's funny how even the most partisan members of Congress invariably at some point during their 2-year term will go, wow, I'm not going to have anything bipartisan to show when I run again. I better do something. Well, make sure you're in the queue with those people. So in terms of the act, look, there was more work to be done that we didn't get done on the Indian healthcare improvements last section. So we all knew we were going to have to come back to that anyway. One of the things that I will encourage, and matter of fact, I work with Singer here on it if she wants my help on it, is look, you've got Senator Wyden, who is now very senior on the Senate Finance Committee, and Senator Merkley, who is on the Health Committee, which has jurisdiction over all the health issues that Senate Finance doesn't have. So you couldn't have two better positioned senators. I think that the time is right to make sure that they understand what's at stake for the tribes here and the tribes across our country, and to make certain that, and Senator Wyden is not going to quit working on health reform. I can assure you he's hard at it right now. I think it would make sense to get in there early so that you're a component of their efforts and if they're thinking. And now's the time. You don't wait until, preferably, you don't wait until March or whenever you make your traditional trips back to D.C. Of course, well, now's not the time to have a lame duck to deal with. But as soon as they get out of that darn lame duck, which the guy who's going to take my place in Biden's office told me ominously yesterday is going to go through December 24th. But as soon as they get out, is the time to try to get hold of those staffs, get your meetings. I'm available as a friend, and just to make certain that you guys are getting heard early, and as they're putting together their legislative agendas.
I mean, a lot of folks have seen a parallel in this election between President Clinton in 1992. He came in 92, Democratic majorities in the House and Senate, and overreached, and in 94 they turned complete control. I think it made President Clinton a better president. He had to deal with the Republican Congress, they had to compromise, and this is a chance, I think, for President Obama, obviously, to become a better president and to work with parties from both sides.